In 1999, while most teenagers were playing video games, a 15-year-old boy was quietly inside the computer systems of NASA. He wasn't guessing passwords. He wasn't running basic scams. He had breached one of the most powerful government networks in the world, and authorities wouldn't discover him until it was already too late. This is the true story of Jonathan James, the teenager who hacked the U.S. government. Jonathan James was a teenager from Florida. Online, he went by the alias Comrade. He wasn't a criminal mastermind in a secret bunker. He was a curious, self-taught kid obsessed with computers. In the late 1990s, the internet was still young. Cybersecurity was nowhere near what it is today. Back then, firewalls were weaker. Encryption was limited, monitoring systems were less advanced, and Jonathan saw vulnerabilities everywhere. Let's be clear, this was not movie-style keyboard smashing. Jonathan reportedly exploited weaknesses in government network systems. According to federal reports, he accessed systems connected to the U.S. Department of Defense, NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center. At one point, investigators said he downloaded software used by NASA to control the International Space Station's life support systems. That doesn't mean he took control of it, but the breach was serious enough that NASA temporarily shut down parts of its network to investigate. The estimated damage? Over $1 million in costs, not because he destroyed systems, but because of the security audits, shutdowns, and recovery processes. This wasn't vandalism. It was a full-scale federal cybersecurity incident. Federal investigators began tracking unusual traffic inside government networks. This wasn't random guessing. Digital footprints always exist, even in the early days of the internet. Through IP tracing and digital forensic analysis, authorities followed the trail back to a home in Florida. Imagine that moment. FBI agents knocking on a door, and behind that door, a teenager. Jonathan James became the first juvenile in U.S. history sentenced to prison for hacking. He was 16 when he was sentenced. He pleaded guilty. He received house arrest, probation, a ban from computer use, and time in juvenile detention. For a teenager whose entire identity revolved around technology, being banned from computers was devastating. His case became a warning shot to young hackers across the country. The message was clear. Curiosity does not excuse intrusion. Talent does not override the law. Jonathan James's case happened before major global cyber warfare headlines, massive ransomware attacks, nation-state hacking becoming common. He exposed how vulnerable government systems were at the time. After incidents like his, federal cybersecurity investment increased significantly. In some ways, cases like his accelerated improvements in digital defense, but his story also reveals something deeper. A 15-year-old should not have been able to reach that far. That wasn't just about one teenager. It was about systemic weakness. Years later, Jonathan James became entangled in another investigation related to corporate hacking cases, although he denied involvement. In 2008, at age 24, he died by suicide. He maintained his innocence in the later allegations. The story of Jonathan James is not just about a teenager who hacked NASA. It is about a moment in technological history, a turning point, a warning, and a lesson. The lesson is not that young people are threats. The lesson is that guidance matters, opportunity matters, ethics education matters. Because the line between innovation and intrusion can be dangerously thin, and once crossed, the consequences are real. Jonathan James stepped across that line at 15. The world has been reinforcing it ever since. In the end, his story leaves us with one final question. In a world where knowledge is unlimited and access is instant, are we preparing young minds to build the future, or simply hoping they don't break it? His story remains controversial. Some see him as reckless. Some see him as a brilliant mind without guidance. But everyone agrees on one thing. He changed how America viewed teenage hackers forever. What happens when intelligence outpaces maturity? what happens when skill develops faster than ethics. Jonathan James wasn't a movie villain. He was a teenager who crossed a line he didn't fully understand. And in doing so, he forced the most powerful government on Earth to rethink cybersecurity. The question isn't whether teens can hack powerful institutions. The question is, are we guiding gifted young minds before curiosity turns into crime?